Oh, it is so happy to be back together again. It's like Randy and Elizabeth coming back together.
We're gonna smooch here. Eric spotted me in the crowd and pulled me out. It has been a while. It feels like it's been almost a month, even though it's been, I guess, about half that.
Yeah.
You took vacation, I took vacation, but we are back, the Enhancement Talent, and we are better than before. Look at this gorgeous studio.
Here we are. We are in the brand new ESPN 105.3 Evansville studio. I want to thank Ford and O'Brien for having us in. Of course, you can now catch the Enhancement Talent on their website, too, which is ESPNEvansville.com. So
we are spreading like a virus.
All over virus. Good word.
This studio used to be so dead and compiling so much dust that we could call it the Enhancement Talent Studio.
That's right.
Now we are in the official ESPN 105.3 studio. Happy to be here, and we've got a lot to talk about because it's been a while, Eric. First of all, real quick, how was your vacation?
Vacation was good. I was in Flair country.
Woo woo!
Didn't run into Flair, but I was on the lake and saw several houses that I thought could have been his, but not these days. Maybe 85, 86 Flair.
I was in WWE country. I took my girlfriend to Madison Square Garden for the first time, just to show her WrestleMania 1 took place.
Yes.
And of course, ECW. I was in Philadelphia, my hometown. So I had also a trip very deep rooted in wrestling history.
Well, on the last episode when you weren't here, we did talk briefly about what may or may not happen tonight. Speaking of Flair, talking about Flair being in attendance tonight for Raw. Someone else, an icon, tweeted, 7-14-14.
I'm going to say...
What'll happen?
I'm going to say yes to Flair, no to Sting.
Okay.
I think you'll see Flair tonight, but you won't see Sting.
Okay. Anything else of note that you're thinking about going on?
I have a few things. The number one thing I wanted to say was I do not feel that Battleground is shaping up to be a good pay-per-view. Your thoughts?
I think that anything could be better than tables, or what was it? Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I didn't hate Money. I didn't hate Money in the Bank. You did.
No, not a fan.
I bet you this show will be worse.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't doubt you on that one. I think it could be.
Is that this Sunday already? I think it is.
Is it this Sunday?
Wow. Maybe.
Too quick.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's the next one. I don't know.
Too quick. It's just, let's jump over it and get to SummerSlam is kind of what everybody's thinking, including us.
I know you missed Raw, but I was really disheartened by what they did with Bret Hart. It just didn't do anything.
He didn't have much there,
So you didn't see it?
I did see a recap of that.
Sandow came out. He was fodder for Sandow, essentially. I mean, he got the upper... Bret Hart wound up looking like the star, I guess, but it was... I just wish... You know how I feel about Bret.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite of anything in wrestling. I just think that he was the man, and I wish his presence in wrestling was different today.
Yeah.
But
hey, at least he's back with the WWE, and I guess
that does make me happy. Like, man, I'll tell you, when he came back in January, it was January 4th, 2010, I was so excited, and it happened right for like a day, and then it got now we're wrestling Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, and now we're the U.S. champion, and it was a whole bunch of weird stuff I didn't need to happen. But I do like that he's on good terms, and I feel like he's in a happier spot than he was before he was back with the company.
Well, and I think right now, I mean, the focus seems to be so much on the new stars that, the old stars, like you said, Flair showing up tonight, I think will only be to enhance someone else. If that does happen. But, I mean, they're working harder than ever before to build stars, like Roman Reigns and like Seth Rollins and like Bray Wyatt. And I think, this is the hardest they've worked in a long time.
Yeah, and those are what, to me, that's sowing the field. And now it's like that's when they grow. Because I remember when, when Austin was the ringmaster and Rocky Maivia was the blue chipper, it's like we didn't know it was going to grow into what it grew into.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. It takes unfamiliar faces.
Yeah, and that kind of transitions into a new segment that I want to do here, which is the voice of reason. Eric Cornish, the voice of reason. Here's what we're going to I want to talk about the last time that the WWE and wrestling in general was really good.
Okay.
And it looks like they might be getting to that now, and I've got hope. But let me go back to a year that I say, with the voice of reason, was the best year in recent memory, and that was 2002. Yes, it was after the Attitude Era. Yes, all that was gone, and a lot of people would point to that and go, I missed the Attitude Era. But I'd say the Attitude Era officially ended in about 2001.
To me, the Attitude Era ended when the Invasion Era began.
Again, yeah, that would have been
so
about
WrestleMania
2001.
17.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this was after the Attitude Era, and you want to talk about a year, 2002 into 2003 was the best year in recent memory of wrestling, and here's why: because they were building new stars, they were building toward the future, and you still had those established stars there as well. Let me just go through. You had two rosters. First of all, they split it into two rosters. That was the year that you had Raw, you had SmackDown.
I never got the brand extension. I never liked it.
No, but think about it. If you had the kind of star power you had then, now the brand extension was worth it, because on one show you still had The Rock hanging around. He was in and out of Hollywood, but he was still there.
That's true.
Austin was still there before he took his ball and went home. You had Brock Lesnar, who was just coming on the scene and making a huge impact. You still had The Undertaker. You had the Hardy Boys. You had Chris Jericho. You had all these guys, Angle. And of course Triple H was there too. This is all on Raw. Now you go over to SmackDown, Angle's there. You've got SmackDown Edge. 6. You've got the Guerreros. You've got Rey Mysterio. You've got a very young John Cena.
You had Raven and Rhino.
You had a very young Randy Orton was coming on the scene. Mm-hmm. So here's all of these guys. Think of all of that future Hall of Fame talent. Can you go through the roster today and pick out people like that? You can't do it. You can't even get to maybe 5 that, with people that are actually established that you can go credible stars. You can't. Brock is a part-timer. Jericho's back now, but he's a part-timer. But you've got Cena, you've got Orton, you've got Kane, and this roster, I didn't even mention Kane, Big Show. I mean, all these guys that, again, future Hall of Famers. So now that I think they're kind of in a state of panic because John Cena's nearing the end of his run. He's nearing the end of his career. And they can't keep going back to him and saying, we need Cena, when Daniel Bryan gets hurt, or when CM Punk leaves, or when any of this stuff happens, or when Sheamus doesn't work, or when, Swagger doesn't work, or when all these people that they've tried to throw down your throats, instead of letting them build on their own. So, the last time the WWE was really good, the voice of reason says it was 2002.
Well, there are a few ways you can look at this. I feel like in 2011, things were still good, and I don't think things are bad right now. There's been bad periods. Like I don't think 2006 was a good year, and the 2 years surrounding that weren't good years. 2011, I thought like when CM Punk was doing his pipe bomb stuff, when he was Can't Miss, and the Nexus was tearing the rings apart, like that stuff was good. I was hooked to what was going on then. But I feel like I haven't cared as much about wrestling as I did around the year 2000. It was like everyone I knew was watching wrestling. Everyone was talking about wrestling. It was really cool to like wrestling. It was the Attitude Era. Like I'll say like mid '99 to mid 2000 was like just fantastic stuff. When like the tag team division was becoming it was changing tag team wrestling. Before that a ladder match was what Shawn Michaels had with Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10, which was a great match. It changed what mainstream extreme wrestling could be. And, you were laying the seed for that invasion, which started off very cool.
Right.
It wound up getting very tired, but at the beginning was very cool. So, really, my high school years from, I'll just say, 99 through 01, to me were just, my whole life was wrestling. I was always telling people it was crotch in my chop and crotch chopping and just doing, it was my whole life, and who, the NWO had, but was, important to me.
Right.
It was, to me, that's when I just literally, as the term says, lived, breathed, died wrestling. Right. And that has maybe it's because of my age. I was 15 to 18 then, and I'm 31 now. So it's it was different back then. But that to me was when the last time wrestling really mattered. Just when it was everything.
Right, and I feel like right now maybe we're in that period where we'll look back on 2014 or 2015 and go, that was a solid year, because I think you are going to have guys come out of this as better stars. They're taking their time with making stars. They're, we've got some established stars that are kind of on their way out, and I think 2014, 2015, we may look back and say, this was a good year too, and I hope so.
This was when the seeds were planted, and that's the thing. It's because in 1997, it was kind of, at least for WWE, it was not their strongest year. But it planted those seeds that you need to do. You need very, very good talent. You need good writing. You need good production. And they've got a lot of those things right now. But they're still building those stars. The writing can be hit or miss. But there's a whole lot, and as far as the production goes, the technology is changing the way we watch it. You know, so there's a whole lot to offer. We will look back on 2014 as an interesting year in wrestling, to say the least.
Yeah, I think this will be, as we head into the next year, will definitely be one of those transition periods we look at in the future and say, yeah, this meant a lot for wrestling. So despite all the cuts and everything else that's happening, I think in the long run this will be a good thing. So. Anyway, thank you for joining us today. So glad we're back together again.
Yes, good to see you.
And enjoy Raw tonight. We'll see what kind of surprises are in store for us if my power doesn't go out again.
This edition recorded on an iPad stolen by Emma. So thank you, Emma, for helping us
Thank you.
film.
Thank you, Emma. And have a great day.